Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. First off, I want to thank everybody who supported me in watching my first makeup tutorial video. I really appreciate the support for those of you who did and who also liked and subscribed. It was just a few, but you know, it's enough for me to be grateful and to just try to continue this journey and starting a YouTube channel. So I already started out my brows. Hey, I wanted to save time, just like I explained in the first video, and just like I explained in that video as well. I will be doing a tutorial that will be dedicated just on how I do my brows. Today, I ain't really feeling how they came out, but we're still gonna go ahead and just get it rolling into this tutorial, even though I'm not too happy with how they came out. But that's okay, because the rest of the look is still gonna be popping. They decent enough to rock with the rest of the look. So let's go ahead and begin. I'm gonna go ahead and do actually a Halo Cut-Crease. I've never done this kind of look before. I love halo looks. I love halo looks because they're a nice like smoky look usually, and they just like really like dramatic and just nice. I just love doing a halo look. I've never done a halo cut crease. I've done cut creases before, and they can be a bit tricky. So doing a halo cut crease, I know is gonna be a bit of a task for me today, but we're gonna learn together and we're just gonna go ahead and roll with the punches. If you have hooded eyelids like me, so you might be really interested in staying tuned, because as you know, well, if you don't know, cut creases can be difficult to do if you have cut crease. If you have hooded eyelids. So you know, I'm hopefully gonna be able to show you guys a way to do that when you have hooded eyelids like I do. So let's go ahead and begin, guys. Please stay tuned. Alright guys, so pretty much this is just me priming my T-zone area. This is where I really get oily. So I'm gonna use my Sacha Cosmetics Mattifying Primer as shown, and just gonna go ahead and prime the T-zone, which is the forehead and the nose area, with that primer. Please don't pay attention to my eyebrows. The way the video on my iPhone, I think the way I had it set up, it's making everything look like slanted to me. So my eyebrow looks uneven, my face even looks crooked, the background looks crooked. I don't know what's going on here, but this background looks weird as hell, so please disregard. I was having problems with my camera on my phone. I didn't have enough space, so we end up actually recording from my computer, from my laptop, my MacBook, so it ends up looking a lot even towards the end of the video. So please just bear with your girl. But here I'm just priming my forehead as discussed, and then I'm gonna go ahead and do the nose. You gotta be secure, honeys. Yes, I love my makeup to be matte and really last throughout the day. Because for me, myself, what I found that when I'm not matte and my makeup, as throughout the day, my natural oils start to come through, my makeup doesn't look as flawless. I begin to see my fine lines and my creases, and I don't like that in my makeup. I put on the makeup so I can get more of a smoother look. So when you have makeup that's getting into your creases and stuff like that, that doesn't look good, to me at least. So that is why I love to have a matte look. So now we're just gonna go ahead and prime the rest of my face with this NYX Angel Veil primer. I love this primer. It's so bomb. I think it's good for all skin types, in my opinion. Oily skin, combination skin, dry skin, normal skin. This is just a really great primer, and it's very inexpensive. It's only like 15 bucks or so, or maybe a little bit less. I got it at Target. Now we're gonna go ahead and just get into doing the eye look. whenever I'm doing my makeup, if I'm doing an extravagant eye look, I always start up with the eyes. Even if I'm not doing an eyeshadow look, my eyes is what I always start with. So this is what we're doing now. We're priming the lids. I'm just using my Black Radiance eyeshadow primer, as well as my LA Girl Pro Conceal mixed together, and then we're just gonna go ahead and blend that out. You guys can watch my first video to get more details on how I do my full face, but this is gonna be more so focused on the eyes. At least I'm gonna try to, because like I told y'all, I was having camera problems, and there was a small piece of this eye look that did get cut out. But I will explain as we get to that part what I did to finish out the makeup look, and at some point I will be re-recording this look again, a little bit differently, since I now have the experience in doing it and knowing exactly what I'm going to do. And I'll make sure that my camera technicalities are up to par that the next time. And now I'm just setting that concealing with my NYX Hydra Touch Powder Foundation. Setting your eye primer helps for easier blending. So now we're going to go ahead and get into this Halo Cut-Crease. This is the BH Cosmetics 2nd Edition 120 palette. And I'm going to start with my transition shade, like always. So I'm starting with a neutral tone. As you can see, it was this reddish brown color, or this brown reddish color. And I'm just, blending it, taking it back and forth from the outer to the inner part of my eyelid, all the way to the inner part of the eyelid, since this is going to be a halo look. So whenever you're doing that, of course, you want to simultaneously move in circular motions and back and forth motions. So whenever doing transition shades, they don't always have to be neutral, but I prefer my transition shades to be neutral. I just like the way it meshes everything together and blends it out for a less harsh look, especially when you're doing a dramatic look like this. And whenever you're doing transition shades, I would suggest, if you're going to use it on the more complementary side of the color spectrum, to make sure it's on the lighter side. So now we're going to go ahead and deepen the crease, and we're going to use the palette I just showed, the Urban Decay Electric palette, and we're using the color Revolt, that blue color you see I'm tapping into. Someone did mention to me, and I completely forget, it is a bad habit of mine, but hey, it's my germs. I'm gonna try not to blow on my brushes as much. My aunt did bring that up to me, so I'll try to make sure that I'm tapping more than I'm blowing. I do both, but I'm gonna make sure that I'm not blowing as much, so you guys don't judge me for doing that. But it's okay. So now as I'm doing, like I said, I'm just deepening the crease with this electric blue color. And honestly, guys, I hated this color. Typically, when I do eyeshadow looks, I usually go for the more neutral tones. But now that I'm starting a channel, I want to explore these different types of looks with you guys. So I'm also learning as I go as well. I'm trying to explore and going into more color and stuff like this. So I've always had this palette, and I actually never used this blue. So when I used it, I was highly disappointed. And honestly, I'm starting to feel like Urban Decay is really not all that, because my Gwen Stefani palette by them is really not that good either. When I say this color was so hard to blend, my little $12.99 or $14 BH Cosmetics eyeshadow palette, the colors blend on that so much better than this was blending. So I just wanted to put that out there. I was really annoyed with this, but I made it work. So like I said, we're just going ahead and doing this, and then we're gonna do the next eye as well. So now we're going back into the BH Cosmetics palette and just taking that transition shade to blend out that blue with the transition again. Want to make sure we don't have any harsh lines. So that's what we're doing. And, you know, just making sure we got a nice blended out look. Going back into the BH Cosmetics 120 palette, second edition, we're taking that deep dark blue you see, that deep dark royal blue, and we're gonna go ahead and start blending that into the inner part of our eyelid, going up above the crease, and also the outer part of the eyes as well. This is the effect of a halo eyeshadow look. So I absolutely love this palette because, like I told you, it even has better blending power than the Urban Decay shadows did, and it didn't have as much fallout. So as I'm doing this, I'm just making sure everything is nicely blended, and I'm using this e.l.f. flat eyeshadow brush. Please don't mind my open mouth. You know, when you just get into it, boy, you don't even realize what you start doing. So after we blended out that dark blue color, we're using this lighter blue color that I'm pointing at. And we're going to use that to blend out the top above the crease area. We're going to go ahead and blend that area in with that transition color that we had used earlier. And just making sure, again, we have no harsh lines and nicely and a nice transition going outward. Then here you just see me going back into the palette with the darker royal blue color to just darken up that halo. So now here is when it gets tricky, guys. This is going to be the cut crease part. I'm using this LA Girl Pro Concealer as I always use, and this Wet n Wild concealer brush, and we're gonna go ahead and cut out the crease with the concealer so we can get a defined cut crease. So pretty much what I'm explaining here is that you have to cut above your actual crease area when you have hooded eyelids, because then when you open your eyelids, your overlap that is hooded is going to smear and crease the cut crease. So that is why you have to go above the crease part and go on all the way up on top of the hooded part of your lid. So this is what I'm doing. First, I'm starting out really small, and then you'll see as I build up, going above and over the crease area. I was using this concealer, and this is actually the best concealer I feel to do a cut crease. I mean, I haven't used every concealer ever, but I found that this one works well when doing a cut crease. But then later I messed up and I don't know, I just switched up the concealer and that just messed up everything, because then my look at the end was starting to crease. So you'll see which one I switched to. So here is the concealer I switched to. I switched to using the concealer in the NYX Conceal and Correct palette. And this honestly was the worst decision I could have made, because I was so happy with how the look turned out, and then it started to crease on me. And that was because this concealer, it was too thick. When you're doing a cut crease, it's good that you have a thicker concealer, but it has to be creamy. And this NYX concealer was not that creamy. So I should have stuck with the LA Girl Pro Conceal, because it is a good coverage concealer, but at the same time it's not too heavy and it's on the creamier side. So that way once it dries down, you can go ahead and begin applying the shadow onto that and it won't crease. The reason why this started to crease on me was because the NYX one, it was too thick. So that was a big mistake. And if you guys do this look, use a creamier consistency concealer. And now we're doing the other eyelid. And again, just following the same exact steps as we did on the first eye. So we're gonna go ahead and now add this shimmery color in the Urban Decay Electric palette called Revolt. It was the little silver color I pointed to at the top. And I'm gonna use this Pixie Fixing Mist to spray the brush, so that way it can stick to the brush. Well, the product can nicely glide onto the eyelid. So of course, during this part, you want to be just as careful as you were when applying the concealer to cut out the crease. You want to be just as careful and follow that outline that you made for the concealer, and just go right on top of the concealer with that eyeshadow color. Make sure you're staying within the lines so that way you can have a crisp, clean look. Now I'm going to use this flat eyeshadow brush by Clean Color, and again I'm going in with that Pixie Fixing Mist spray to wet the brush slightly, and then going into Revolt to just fill in the rest of the crease, the cut crease area. At this very moment, I started really questioning this look. As you can see, my smirk. Alright guys, so here is when my camera had cut off and the rest of the eye look was not on camera, and I so apologize for that. I terribly apologize. But all I pretty much did was I went back into the Beige Cosmetics palette and went back into that deeper, darker royal blue color, and then I took my fluffy blending eyeshadow brush, and then I started going on top of the parts where we had the blue on the outer and the inner corner, and then slightly bringing it into the crease area. so that it can actually look like a gradient effect and like it's blending all together. So that's pretty much what I did, and then I went back on the top above the crease area and kind of just blended in the royal blue color, the lighter royal blue color on the top, and then I also used a neutral transition on the brow bone to blend everything out. I'm just applying my foundation and blending it out with my Real Techniques Makeup Beauty Sponge. And then we're getting into the highlighting portion of the face. I'm just highlighting under my eyes, and then I'm gonna go ahead. I usually don't highlight that much, but I felt like just kind of doing it all out. So usually I just highlight under the eye, but now I'm also gonna go ahead and highlight my forehead area and also my chin, and then we're just gonna go ahead and blend all of this out again with the Real Techniques the Real Techniques Beauty Blender or Beauty Sponge. Get it together, Nadine. Just gonna buff out the foundation and all of the highlighting that we did, just buffing out, blending out, just to make sure that everything is nicely blended out and we don't have any harsh lines or streaks anywhere. I love just going over what I just blended out with the sponge with my Real Techniques foundation brush. And now we're gonna go ahead and set the highlighted areas with my airspun setting powder in the color neutral. Gonna go ahead and brighten it up a little bit more with this translucent color. Even though it's translucent, it has a slight lighter tint that will bring out the highlight, and I just put this under the eye, and I'm also doing this to give extra security so that it doesn't wrinkle as much under my eyes. So again, I'm just doing this under the eye area. While we're letting the highlighted parts set and bake, we're gonna go ahead and contour. This is the e.l.f. bronzer palette in medium, and I tap into all 4 colors and the darkest shade the most, and just tapping off the excess. And now I'm beginning to contour my nose. Then we'll go ahead and chisel out the cheeks, and then we'll be nicely contoured. Hey! And for further or more details on how I do my full face in further detail, you could definitely go and watch my first video. I am more thorough and detailed in that video on how I do my full face. And now we're just gonna go ahead and press in that setting powder to make sure it blends out for a flawless finish. I love to do this when the Beauty Blender is still damped. So now just getting into buffing away all of the highlight all over the face with this densely packed face brush. It's just a generic brush I got on Amazon.com years back. And then here we're just blending out the entire look with our powder foundation. This is the Sephora Micro Smooth in Matte Tan 35, and just this fluffy face brush, and just blending out everything together, the highlight, the contour, foundation, so that way we can get a nice flawless blended out look. Go ahead and smoke out the bottom, our lash line, or underneath our lash line, just to bring the whole look together and make it look more sultry. So we're using the lighter blue first, that lighter blue color that we were using earlier, and then we go into the darker blue as well afterwards, on top of that lighter blue, so we can make it pop just a little bit more. And of course, guys, all of the products used in this video will be listed down below in the description box. And then here we're just gonna go ahead and tighten the waterline with this black eye pencil. Just going right directly onto the waterline with this black. Now we're just winging out, or doing a winged out liner for some more drama, using the e.l.f. Liquid Eyeliner in black. So I skipped putting on my mascara on both top and bottom. Please don't ever forget to do your bottom lashes when doing mascara. And I also already put on my false lashes. I really don't like these lashes either. I was just trying these out for the first time. But I know the next time I create this look, how much more I'm gonna perfect it, and you guys will get to see the full eye look without the video cutting out. So now we're just highlighting. Of course, you already know we gotta get the glow up going, and I'm just using this e.l.f. Baked highlighter, and just putting it now on the Cupid's bow. I already put it on my cheekbones, and now just slightly on the temples. And like that wasn't enough, now we're just gonna be all out extra, because extra is what I do. So who cares? I'm gonna go in with my ColourPop highlighter as well, and just gonna take that on the cheekbones, and that's pretty much all I'm gonna use the ColourPop one on, and that's pretty much it. Now we're gonna go ahead and set everything with this Fixing Mist by Pixie Skin Treats, and yeah, it smelled really good. here we're just gonna go ahead and highlight the inner corners with the Revolt eyeshadow, the same one that we used on the cut crease area, just using that same silver. I'm very happy with how it came out because y'all already know the struggle. It was a real struggle, but we worked it out. I'm very happy. I really like it. It's nicely blended, and I like it with this lip color. You know, it's nice and peachy to go with the blue. You know, if you're feeling daring enough, don't be afraid, ladies, when you want to go out and, you know, just have a nice look with your nice little outfit. Here it is, you know, be all out glam. So I hope that you guys were able to take some tips from this eye look today, and I hope that you stick around for, or stay on the lookout for my next video. Please make sure to subscribe, and please make sure to like this video to let me know if you like it or not, and so I can continue to make videos. So guys, thanks so much for bearing with me and watching this video, and have a good one. Bye.